Most entrepreneurs who work hard don't fail. They just don't own anything. This is the part they don't warn us about. Yes, working hard gets you results, just not the kind that compound. I've helped over 200 entrepreneurs launch their business, and I've seen this firsthand. I am here today to tell you that working hard solely alone, you will remain stuck. Here's the trap that most entrepreneurs find themselves in. They say to themselves, hey, if I work enough or if I give enough effort, then ownership will come to me later. I believe the same thing. Business doesn't work on moral progression, it works on structure. Ownership is not a reward for effort, it is a result of how effort was applied. Look, folks, effort creates output, ownership creates leverage. I want you to remember that difference. So, then what's the difference between ownership and hard work? Hard work produces labor income, ownership produces control. A lot of entrepreneurs find themselves as just glorified, committed employees, laborers inside their business. They work long hours, they take on all the stress, and they take on all the responsibility. It might be you. You work the long hours, you do your own payroll, you do your own sales calls, you staple your own paper, you do your own promotion, you do everything. In fact, nothing runs without you. That's not ownership, folks. That is nothing but glorified employment with risk. If hard work automatically led to ownership, the hardest working people will own the most. And we know this is not the case because, in fact, the hardest working people tend to own the least because effort doesn't transfer into leverage unless structure allows it. Here's why people work so hard for so many years and have nothing to show for it at the end. It's because they build positions, not a system. They build income, not assets. They even optimize for being busy, not unnecessary. Their effort creates dependency, not independence. Yes, that means, again, it depends on them. If they're not doing the accounting work, doesn't work. If they're not doing the marketing work, doesn't work. It depends on them solely. So it's dependency. It is not independence. Their business does not grow beyond them. It grows around them. Remember this line. If your business collapses because you step away, then you don't have a business. The business has you. This is where people get defensive because they feel that hard work is virtuous and that ownership sounds abstract. So people tend to confuse doing the work with the ownership of the results. But ownership is about control, transferability, about continuality of the process. Hard work doesn't guarantee any of this. So here's the correction that most people need to hear that they don't get to hear. Ownership is by design, it's not earned. You can't stumble into it, you can't grind and hustle your way into it, but you can structure towards it. That means asking the questions that most people tend to avoid, like, hey, does this still work without me? Does this improve as it scales? Is it scalable? Does my effort create future leverage or is it just present income? These questions are very uncomfortable. That's why people tend not to ask them. Ownership shows up where effort stops being required. So, why is hard work so persistent? Why does it continue to stick around? It's because it's familiar to us. We know how to do it, we know how to plan it, we know how to justify it. We know everything about hard work. See, ownership requires letting go of you being essential. And most people don't want ownership. They want the importance. But business doesn't reward importance, it rewards structure. So if you've been working hard and you still don't feel like you've been leveraged, in control, or even free, that's not a character flaw. It's not a discipline issue. And it's not because you haven't waited long enough. Hard work did its job. Now, structure has to do yours. This is your boy, J.I. If this was helpful to you, I want you to give me thumbs up.